Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In this holy month of Hajj, immense realities. From the beginning of Muharram, the first month, we stepped out on our right foot, and that was the beginning of the Hijra and the movement towards Allah's Divinely Presence, which never ends. All the way to the month of Hajj, the 12th month, the month of completion with all of its blessings and its barakah. Hujjaj are now moving towards the realities of the Tawaff and the reality of circumambulation and the reality that Prophet is circumambulating most high. And that's what Allah describing, qalbil mu'min baytullah, Baytul Mahmud, that is the maqam of Sayyidina Muhammad. As Prophet is making that tawaff, those emanations, it's a waterfall, tanzil al-rahmah is coming all upon creation. The Prophets of Allah, the holy companions of Prophet, the Ahlul Bayt of Prophet and the awliyaullah, they are the real Hujjaj that are moving and being dressed by these realities. They remind for us that Sdn Ibrahim, Sdn Hagar and Sdn Ismael have to do with our reality and the reality of Islam, the reality of Iman and the reality of Maqam al-Ihsan. Islam is to submit your will to the will of God Almighty. Wherever you are, whatever religion, whatever practices you are practicing, your Islam is about submitting your will to the will of God, to the will of Allah. I don't want anything of your property and your goods, I want the only thing that I gave to you back, and that is Islam. I want your free will. All my creatures and all my animals, they have no will, they surrender. You the animal that talking and have all this gift, submit your will back to me. And Allah inspires within our heart, enter into Islam. Take a path in which submit your will and your desire to my Divinely desire and my Divinely will. And Sayyidina Ibrahim comes into our life and teaches that I'm representing that station for this example, that Allah put an order within my heart and my whole being fighting that order if I have to do that. And everybody has a desire and a love within their heart, and Allah come into that heart and say, I'm requesting it. Sayyidina Ibrahim coming to teach, I want to take you to these maqams and these realities. Your life is about trying to become from the ulul amr, that what is Allah requesting from us and how are we going to try to obey. If you can live a life in which to follow the ulul amr, people who obey Allah's command. We are not a rebellious people, we are not a protesting people, we don't take any issue to the street. The only protest we have is with shaitan, and that should be within the heart of insan. That's the first jamarat. They begin to stone that jamarat, and they stone with 21 stones. They time 21 times that secret, because this is from the realities of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. When they're collecting the stones at the end, they're opening from the secrets of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, that all these realities to open upon their soul. They reach to the second jamarat in the station of faith. The second shaitan that's standing there is a reminder of the station of Sdn Hagar, that I'm representing E169. Now you're elevating. Sdn Hagar comes into their life and says, now throw your stone and be from people of E169, because she followed her husband, the messenger of God. If you're able to follow the command, then the next maqam will be opening is from her reality. That stone this shaitan, that he's fiercely coming after you in the station of faith. If you ask people, do you have faith? They say, yeah Shaykh, I have faith, I pray, I give my zakah. No, you don't have no faith. Faith is an event. Faith is not something you say, I have faith. Faith is when Allah says, you have faith. You're going to have a light that comes into your heart, and you're going to have an overwhelming experience. Allah will present your life before your eyes, because now the maqam of faith is the opening of the heart. Sdn Hagar comes and it's not something easy. How my Prophet is telling me he's going to sacrifice my son? It makes no sense to me, it doesn't even make sense in the sharia of that time. But love of Prophet samina wa ta'ala. It's not for me to understand anything, I don't know myself. Don't think you know, little bit of knowledge of yours is confusing every mind. As soon as you teach something, they use this 2 cents and 2 pieces of knowledge that they learned to battle against what you're trying to teach. Allah said, don't. This maqam of E169, you know nothing, all you know is that your love for the Rasul you obey, and we are the people of samina wa ata'na. We heard and we obey. We follow the ulul amr, we hear, we obey. If that is accomplished, and Prophet described this faith, love me more than you love yourself. So she's teaching, love the Rasul, obey the Rasul, spit upon the shaitan. He's going to continuously try to confuse you from fulfilling the command that Allah wants. Why Allah gave the example by His wife? Because there's a love. Your body has to have a love for your soul. You have to care for your soul. She's something precious within you that Allah gave. You cannot destroy your soul. You cannot not feed your soul. You cannot abuse your soul and abandon your soul. It's a love. You think that only you have to protect your wife? No, Allah I gave you something more precious than her, because she also has her soul. But I gave you a precious soul within you, fragile. Your belief has to nourish her to bring her into her strength. That is then that love, and shaitan not happy with that and keep bombarding. If your Islam is strong, your belief is strong and your faith is strong. If they can accomplish that jamarat, if they can accomplish that stoning, that, Ya Rabbi, let us to fulfill our covenant, our ahad, our contract that we made with You. The last jamarat that they're taking us is now the whole secret of Sayyidina Muhammad.
Secret Realities of Hajj features invaluable teachings and spiritual insight into the Islamic holy pilgrimage of Hajj. The author Shaykh Nurjan takes us from the historical references of holy prophets to the remarkable scientific explanations of the circumambulation. The beautiful illustrations aid in explaining the concepts, allowing the reader to fully comprehend its profound realities. Are you ever searching for what zikr to recite for a particular need? We bring to you the Muhammadan Way app, an all-encompassing Islamic guide, where you can find special du'as and prayers, as well as comprehensive Islamic teachings. Download this powerful app now on iOS and Android.
The last jamarat that they're taking us is now the whole secret of Sayyidina Muhammad. So this third one is the most difficult. Sdn Ismael comes into our life and begins to teach. If your Islam was strong, your deen was strong, your love for Prophet was strong, when Allah opened a light within your heart of faith, they begin to become Ahlul Basira. They see what people don't see. As a result, their faith, Allah wants to increase it day by day. When they increase their faith, a child will be born. Between your body and your soul, when they come together, just like the man and the woman, a new entity will be born. Is this fitratul Islam, and the birth of an innocent reality is maqam al-ihsan. And Sayyidina Ismael comes into our life and says, do you want this maqam al-ihsan? If you're Ahl Muhammad from Ummat al-Nabi, this is your station, this is your inheritance. When you begin from the people who have obeyed Prophet what Allah opens for you so that you can succeed? The Zamzam. So I struggled and moved until Allah inspired on the 7th time, hit the ground and we will begin to nourish you in your movement. Because this movement of obeying Prophet you can no longer be sustained from this dunya. I will sustain you from my oceans of Kawthar. Sdn Hagar, she's then now an example. You want to be from the people of Kawthar. Pray unto your Lord and live a life of sacrifice. She didn't sacrifice money, she didn't sacrifice property, she sacrificed her son. That Zamzam opened so that Sayyidina Ismael could drink from that, nourish his reality, because from his light now is coming the best of all creation. The reality of Sayyidina Muhammad is coming. Allah saying, no, nothing from this dunya going to sustain that reality, but I'm going to make him to drink from my Kawthar oceans. Allah opened the Kawthars, opened my fountains of Kawthar. I would not have sent the reality of Prophet but it's a rahmah. And that fountain began to flow into dunya. So Sayyidina Ibrahim is now going to go and sacrifice his son. The wife is submitting to the order of the Rasul. Sdn Ismael begins to tell his father that, you find me to be patient with what Allah has ordered for you. And only by the sense of an example Sayyidina Ibrahim is allowing the example that who was higher in this sacrifice, the one who sacrifices his property or the one who sacrifices himself. As a result of Sayyidina Ismail's sacrifice of himself, Allah gave him to drink from the Kawthar. Sayyidina Ismail comes into our life and now teaches us that this nation of Sayyidina Muhammad their honour and their dignity is not in the sacrificing of their property, their money and their time, but they will astonish on how they sacrifice themselves. They're a nation in which they sacrifice themselves for the love of Sayyidina Muhammad. As soon as you learn from awliyaullah, all those who want to follow Prophet then sacrifice yourself. We're not talking about blowing yourself up. Sacrifice yourself means take all your bad characteristics to be down, take all the bad desires to be down. And then they begin to teach this station of maqam al-ihsan is by this character they have, that they wanted to reach Allah's satisfaction. They wanted the love and the acknowledgement of Prophet, all the companions. They sacrificed themselves. They had not seen Allah. Who sees Allah? They saw Sayyidina Muhammad. As a result of the love and the character of Prophet they endured hardship, they endured humiliation, they endured all types of difficulties. What? For the love of Prophet. So they could be Kawthari. Want to be from the people of the Kawthar, then they come into our life and ask us, what have you sacrificed for Prophet? Then Allah inspires, come to the turuqs. If you follow them you'll understand. So between the big Prophet of Allah and this little boy, who gave? The big Prophet of Allah? He was sacrificing the boy. That which you're not paying attention to and that you overlook the reality of Sayyidina Ismail who know he was the lamb, he was the sacrifice, he was the one who was going to be slaughtered. That's very dear to Allah. Those people are the people of maqam al-ihsan. Don't take a life in which you want to take your hisab with your own hand, you want to vindicate yourself with your own tongue. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَارٍ. They went into their worshipness and Allah continuously crushed them, continuously effaced them, continuously brought them down, and they said nothing. And they do all of it for the love of Prophet on the day that Allah opened for them to sit at the table with Sayyidina Muhammad. and to drink from the realities of the Kawthar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al Mustafa wa bi siri Surat al Fatiha.
Secret Realities of Hajj features invaluable teachings and spiritual insight into the Islamic holy pilgrimage of Hajj. The author Shaykh Nurjan takes us from the historical references of holy prophets to the remarkable scientific explanations of the circumambulation. The beautiful illustrations aid in explaining the concepts, allowing the reader to fully comprehend its profound realities.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. 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 لوح بھی تو قلم بھی تو تیرا وجود الکتاب گنبد آبگین رنگ تیرے محیط میں حباب तेरे जलाल की नमोद फ़क़्रे जुनैद बायज़ीद तेरा जमाल बेनक़ाब शौक़ तेरा अगर न हो नमाज का इमाम मेरा क़याम बेहिजाब मेरा सुजूद बेहिजाब अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मदिन व आलि मुहम्मद 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 तेरी निगाह नाज़ से दोनों मुराद पा गए तेरी निगाह नाज़ से दोनों मुराद पा गए अक़ल गयाब वो जुस्तजू इश्क़ हुज़ूर इस तरह अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद 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 अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद।
Are you ever searching for what zikr to recite for a particular situation, or which prayer to make for an event or need? The search is over. We bring to you through the Muhammadan Way app an all-encompassing Islamic guide. A platform where you can find all the surahs from Holy Quran, special du'as and prayers, as well as live zikrs and comprehensive Islamic teachings from world-renowned scholars. Download this powerful app now and keep up to date with in-app notifications. Available for download on iOS and Android.